What's good, y'all? Rich Sosa back in the building, coming at y'all with the top two best lockdown builds in NBA 2K21, coming at y'all on next gen. Now, I'm telling you right now, the two lockdown builds that I'm going to be bringing y'all are going to have multiple versions made out of them. As you can see, the very first one that I bring into y'all is the multi-position defender. Now, with this one, as you can see, three different takeovers. Of course, they are going to be some of the best ones in the game. But y'all are definitely going to want to be sure to stick around for the second build that I got coming at y'all as well. Because both of these, I'm telling you, are easily going to be able to change the game as you play it. So, before we get into the making of these builds, man, y'all already know what y'all need to do. Be sure to hit that sub button if you're new. To the Rich Gang family, as well as any new supporters, be sure to hit that like button. Go ahead and turn on post notifications so y'all don't miss these daily uploads. Now let's go ahead and get right into it. To make this first multi-position defender, we're going to go ahead and make it under the shooting guard position. Now, when it comes to the height, I'm going with 6'7". The weight, in my opinion, is honestly going to be best somewhere around the range to where you can maintain a really decent strength. I'm going to go with 209, and then with the wingspan I'm going to go with is going to be 7'4". For the body shape, I really like build. You can change it based off of what you like, but I'm telling you, the way that I'm showing y'all the setup is going to be very nice when it's all said and done. So, let's go ahead and get into the finishing now. When it comes to the driving layup, max this out at 94, but when it comes to the driving dunk, you have to leave this at 94 as well. You cannot put it to a 95, or else it's going to change up the build name. Then when it comes to the post control, go ahead and put this to an 80 for 15 badges. Now let's go ahead and get into the shooting. Go ahead and put the 3-point and the mid-range shot both to an 82. Then when it comes to the free throw, you can actually max this out if you want to, but I'm going to go with the 94. 29 badges right there, almost 30, so we are doing really good. Now let's go ahead and get into the playmaking. Go ahead and put the pass accuracy to a 50. Ball handle at a 79, and then the speed with ball is going to be maxed out. This is only the first version of this build, so be sure to stick through. Now, let's go ahead and get into the defense. So the first thing that you want to go ahead and do is max out your interior defense. Then when it comes to the perimeter, put this to an 82. Max out your steal as well as your block. And then when it comes to the rebounding, go ahead and bring up the defensive all the way up to a 65. That's going to bring up the offensive to a 40. That's going to give us 26 badges right there. So honestly, a really nice start. Let's go ahead and get into these physicals now. When it comes to the speed, we're maxing that out. Same thing with the acceleration. Then when it comes to the strength, this is going to be a 72. We're going to get that 84 vertical and maintain the 60 stamina. So, like I mentioned earlier, this is only the first version of the multi-position defender build. And honestly, this would be one of the most safer versions to make of the build. The only reason why I say that is because we get a good amount of badges in each area. This build really isn't too much of a playmaking build, but the reason why I'm making more versions is because you can get more playmaking badges out of this build if you want to go that route. But I'm telling you, like I said, the one that I just showed y'all is going to be the safest version. But if you want to go ahead and make a couple of adjustments like I'm doing here, getting that 91 vertical, and then on top of all that, the perimeter defense goes up to an 83. The badge count is really solid, but you can go even further when it comes to the changes on this build. So as you can see, I'm going to make a couple of adjustments when it comes to the rebounding. I'm taking off the offensive rebound, leaving the defensive at a 50, or you could go ahead and lower it all the way to put the rest all the way back into the other categories right here. So as you can see, the defense on the interior and perimeter pretty much remain the same, but when it comes to the playmaking side, we're going to go ahead and take a couple of adjustments here. So we're going to go ahead and drop down the free throw, and then with the stats that we did take off from the defense as well as the shooting, both of these are going to be going into the pass accuracy. So we end up with the badge count of 15, 10, 10, and 22. And then on top of all that, you definitely want to go ahead and put the rest into the defensive rebound to get that extra badge. This version right here, I'm telling you, going to be very nice and honestly super interesting when you look at it. We're actually going to be able to put on a good amount of the playmaking badges, and honestly with this build, you are definitely going to be able to dribble, but as well as play lockdown defense. And on top of all that, we're actually still going to be able to shoot and finish at the rim at ease. So It really comes down to what you like, but I'm telling you, the takeovers that we get are going to be the slashing, which is always good, sharpshooting, but then we get both of the lockdown takeovers. We get the exact lockdown as well as the rim protecting. So whatever of these ones you want to pick first, I'm telling you, it's always going to be best to pick the offensive takeover first, just because it makes it so much more easier to get the lockdown takeover second. If you want to go ahead and change a couple different things up, you can definitely do so, but I'm telling you, I'm going up with spot up precision. Second one, going to be extreme clamps. And as y'all can see, we have made the multi-position defender. We got pro dribble moves, all of the elite contact dunks. We're going to be able to do some post scoring with this build. And on top of all that, we are actually going to be able to maintain the elite defense that we want to. Now, let's go ahead and get into the second build that I got lined up for y'all, the pure paint defender. Now, y'all know that I only come at y'all with the best builds possible. Shot creating takeover, sharp shooting, as well as the rim protecting. Also going to be making this build under the shooting guard position. A lot of people like to make the lockdowns out of the power forwards. I do not blame them, but I'm telling you, when you make some of these builds, they are actually going to be made best under different positions. If you go ahead and test it out, you will see that I have brought y'all both of these builds under the power forward version, and I'm telling you, in my opinion, I truly do like the shooting guard versions because of how versatile they come out to be. So if y'all made it this far in the video, go ahead and let me know right now in the comments, what did y'all think about that first build? And out of the versions that I did show y'all, which one are you going to be making? If you did make it this far though, y'all already know what y'all need to do. Be sure to hit that sub button if you're new. And also, do not forget to turn on post notifications. Go ahead and hit that like button. You already made it this far. You might as well. Now, let's go ahead and get into the first version of this pure paint defender. So when it comes to the height, the weight, and the wingspan, I'm going with 6'7". Then when it comes to the weight, I'm going to hit y'all with 209 with the wingspan of 7'4". Body shape, you could go between burly as well as build. It really comes down to what you like. Now, let's go ahead and get into the most important part of the build, the stats. So when it comes to the driving layup, go ahead and put this to a 94. When it comes to that driving dunk, go ahead and put this to a 94 as well. Going to look very similar to the first build that we made, but let's go ahead and check out the post control. This is going to be maxed out, another 15 badges. Then when it comes to the shooting, you have to keep both of these at an 82 or anything below it. As long as you do that, you are going to be safe. That is what changes the build name big time. Now, let's go ahead and get into that free throw. We're actually going to be able to max it out or go ahead and put this to a 94. It really comes down to your preference. Then when it comes to the pass accuracy, I'm going with 69. Ball handle is going to go up to a 79, and then when it comes to the speed with ball, this is going to be maxed out for 9 badges. Now let's go ahead and get into the defense. When it comes to that interior defense, we're actually going to be able to max it out. Then when it comes to the perimeter defense, for the build name, you have to go ahead and put the perimeter to a 67. But when it comes to the steal and block, of course, we're going to be able to max both of these out. Now, when it comes to the defensive rebound, what you want to go ahead and do, put this exactly to a 59. Offensive is going to be a 34 for 24 badges. Now let's go ahead and get into the physicals. As you can see, the speed and acceleration are both going to be maxed out. Same thing with the strength. Vertical is going to go to a 91. And on top of all that, we maintain at least the 60 stamina to be safe, y'all. So you can make a couple of extra adjustments with this build, especially with getting more badges on the defensive side. But the one thing that you do have to take into consideration, make sure that when it comes to the perimeter defense, you are being safe with it, because that is going to be a key factor in what changes the name. Same thing with that interior defense, but also the rebounding. If you want to go ahead and get more badges on the playmaking side, you definitely can do so. But I truly feel like the way that I'm showing y'all is going to be a very balanced build, as well as the setup that you get with it. So as you can see, a couple of minor adjustments: 15 badges on the finishing, 13 on the shooting, 10 on the playmaking, and 24 on the defensive. Not going to be a bad look, especially if you want to run the 1 on this build. Now the changes from here can go even further. So if you want to, go ahead and put the pass accuracy exactly to a 50. Go ahead and bring up that free throw to a 94. And then from here, we're going to go ahead and put the rest of the badges back into the defense, y'all. So as you can see right here, the perimeter defense actually goes up to an 80. Then when it comes to the defensive rebound, you're going to put the rest of the badge points into that for 26 badges. But I'm telling you, however you go about making this build, you're going to be definitely fine as long as you keep the badge count of at least 20 defensive badges. Feel free to explore and find something that you might like even more. But I'm telling you, the setup that I just showed y'all is going to be very nice, especially when it comes to the defensive side. So as you can see, like I said, we get the shot creating takeover, also the slashing, but then from there, we get the sharp shooting as well as the rim protecting. I'm going to go ahead and leave these final options up to y'all, but if you made it this far, go ahead and let me know which out of these two builds you are going to make and which one you like the most. Thank y'all so much to everybody who came through. Shout out to the Rich Gang family, but man, y'all already know what y'all need to do. Be sure to hit that sub button if you're new. To the Rich Gang family as well as any new supporters, I would appreciate it if y'all went ahead and hit that like button. Gonna help me out so much. Go ahead and share this banger with your family and friends. And as y'all can see, we got the pure paint defender, pro dribble moves, elite contact dunks, and elite defense. Y'all better go ahead and turn on post notice so y'all don't miss tomorrow's video as well. Man, with all that being said, I got one last thing to say. Rich out.